ourselves. My name's Daniel Ryder, I live in Victor Harbour. This here is my pinpointer and my whole filleretta.
What do these flowers?
How old are you, Michaela?
11.
No?
11.
Michaela's 11 and I'm 12 years old. Got into detecting probably 5 years ago and just got thoroughly addicted, which you will all completely understand. And now every spare cent is sent that direction, much to the wife's disgust. The detectors we now have, a couple of weekends back I won myself a GoFind 60, which was very quickly claimed by this one. Also have a 705, and after 2 years of targeting spendable coins, that 705 brought me a 4500. Another few months of targeting spendables, purchased myself a Falcon MD20, which I brought in tonight, and show you how that works. Most of you probably haven't seen or actually heard of one. Anyone heard of the Falcon?
No.
Yeah, it's a very, very tiny unit, runs at 300 kilohertz, and it's massively sensitive to what your eye can barely pick up. No good for large areas, but I purchased it for panning, for figuring out if this crevice is worth emptying out or not. So later on, I'll show you how that works, and you'll be absolutely amazed what it picks up. Click the mouse smidge. But the banjo pan. So first up, there's just a few random photos of my pinpointer having fun with the pan. So again, a couple of the results. That was her very first piece. It was interesting, I learned something from, don't click yet. I learned something from Michaela that day. She was getting gold on a clay layer, roughly that deep in the creek. I thought if I dig halfway to China, I'm going to find massive nuggets. How many did we get that day?
6.
And what did you get?
5.
What did I get?
1.
1. So I learned that day she didn't have the strength to get through that layer, and I learned that's the layer the gold was actually sitting on, and now I'm having a whole lot more success at that particular spot. Let's go next. Now the banjo pan. I bought this thing, saw it on YouTube, and I thought I want that because it's so quick, and it's now given Michaela a huge interest in panning. You just walk around and show everyone that much. The reason it's so quick is that little built-in sluice, and you can process material so much quicker. Normally with a normal pan it would take Michaela about 40 minutes to get down to figuring out if she's found gold or not.
I know them too.
With that pan, 2 or 3 minutes later she can see, yes, I've got gold, or no, let's keep digging. So that's the reason I purchased it. Sorry?
It's as quick as that.
Yeah, so I've got a video. I was going to bring in a bucket of gravel tonight and work it, but I figured out very quickly it's going to be problematic with the amount of water needed, the mess it will make. So I collected a whole lot of buckets of gravel from Mount Crawford and took them home to process. Today, I kept one of the buckets for tonight, and I've got the video of it being processed today, and I've brought in the actual concentrates. So later on we can go through the concentrates and see if there's any gold amongst those concentrates. So it's what I call the usual method of using the banjo pan. Normally in a creek, you just dip it into the creek and do exactly what I'm doing now. Just shake it backwards and forwards and work it across that mat. And it really is that simple. You don't need to sieve the material. You can see the size of the rocks that are just working their way out of the pan. So not having to do that sieving process just speeds things up so much.
And so the gold all gets collected in the sluice bit rather than the pan bit, is it?
And right up the end here, just out of sight, there's a nugget trap. Anything heavy will drop into that. We know the nugget trap works because after the Mount Crawford hunt, Michaela and I went and got a bucket of gravel from Rocky Road at Mount Crawford. Believe it or not, she found a sinker in that creek. So we know the nugget trap works because she had a nice shiny sinker in there. So now you can see the amount of black sand that's left in that pan. So amongst that concentrate that's left there, you can see the black sand that's left in there. And the mat itself is going to be full of the black sand and anything heavy.
Does black sand indicate gold then, does it?
Normally, yes. It's one of those things, if you've got black sand doesn't mean you've got gold. It's a bit like quartz. It's one of those good indicators, yeah.
Turns to concentrate.
So now the mat simply comes out and just gets washed out and then go process it again. And it's just so fast.
Where did you buy it and approximately how much?
I bought it from the Mining Exchange Gold Shop in Ballarat, bought it online.
Okay.
It cost me $60.
Okay, that's good.
A friend of mine purchased one as well, so we ended up
$50.
splitting the transport costs. Cost $20 to get it transported from Victoria, so it ended up costing us $70 each.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about it, there's not a massive amount of skill needed in comparison to a normal pan. You know, when Michaela can grab it and get 5 pieces of gold out of it, you know it's something that's simple to use. It is. Because it seems across Facebook and all the various forums, it seems like it came out with the gold tube, which seems to be something from the last couple of years. But as soon as I saw it, I thought that's going to get my kids interested in panning because it's just so fast. So normally you'd wash the mat back into the pan each time and go through the concentrates. I tend to do a whole bucket at a time and put all the concentrates into a separate bucket. That way on weeks like the weather we've had the last couple of weeks and it hasn't been able to get out, I can go and make a mess in the backyard and still find some gold. This is my method, the lazy method.
Yes,
I've gone high tech, I've cut a hole in the bucket
yes,
and I'm using it as a sluice.
yes.
So the hose just goes to the water tank, and with the weather we've had lately, there's no shortage in that tank. And it's just a nice, easy method for running the concentrates at home. So now I'm working on a recirculating system, get the water pumped back up, and just constantly recycle the water. And this is even faster doing it this way. So normally I do all the hard work at home. When it's time to find gold in the concentrates, Michaela seems to come flying out of the room to do the glory part of the work. Yeah, get all the gold out. So where have we going at Mount Crawford? Most people would go to Rocky Road or Tower Road, a couple of creeks there. Hammered both of those spots, and probably every 3 or 4 trips I'll get a tiny piece of gold out of either of those creeks. So I started thinking outside of the square. From summertime detecting out there. Found a little gentle slope. It had probably a 30-metre wide strip of quartz just meandering down the slope. At the bottom of that slope was a little waterway. It wasn't a creek. With the rain we've had lately, probably has water flowing through it for 5 or 10 minutes, and it's only really torrential rain that gets water there. But I took a sample at the bottom of that run of quartz and was gobsmacked at what I found.